So now that we've looked at a newscast and what all went into it, I've got an assignment for you. I'm gonna have you guys do a newscast analysis, kind of like what I did with looking at newscasts and seeing what all is going into it. And so what I want you to do is I want you to watch a 30-minute newscast. And I want this to be any local news station. So it can be an ABC, a CBS, a Fox, or an NBC local station. The station should have call letters like WSFA, WTVY, KTVU. And the show must have news, sports, and weather segments. Now, there are networks that will do an hour-long newscast of just national news. I don't want that. There's some channels that have 24-hour newscasts. I don't want that because that's not local. So I want you to look at a local news station that is going to have news, sports, and weather covering local news. And this can be presented any time of the day. And stations will also stream this live on their websites. So typically morning news is going to be about 2.5 hours, and it's not going to be as the same format as what you would find in the evening news. So I'd recommend probably not a morning show. Midday news might have some of that, but really you probably want to look at something like the 6 o'clock or the 10 o'clock news as a really good example of news, sports, and weather and the content that goes into it. So again, I don't want this to be a national newscast. I don't want it to be like ABC Nightly News or NBC Evening News, or I don't want it to be a Trojan Vision newscast. I want it to be a professional station. Now, while you're watching this newscast, there's going to be some things that you're going to want to write down or type down or take notes of. I want you to write down the names of the stories and what order they're presented in. I want you to identify each type of story. Is it a copy? Is it a VO? Is it a VOSOT package? Was there a live shot? And I want you to time the story and find an approximate length of how long the story is. Was it like a 30-second story or 45-second story? And then on Canvas, I'm going to have questions for you to answer about what you just watched. And you're going to submit all of this through Canvas. So the questions are going to be like, what was the name of the newscast? How many stories did they have? How many commercial breaks? And about how long were they? Were they like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes? How many segments was it broken into? Was there a pre-show tease or a pre-recorded open? So a lot of stations are going to have a quick little 5 seconds that's going to say, you know, this is WSFA News at 10. But some stations may even have recorded videos saying, tonight's show, we're going to have this, and this. Stay tuned and watch. So let me know if it had something like that. When we got back to segments after commercial breaks, like weather or sports, was there an animated sequence that played that we call a bumper or a restart? Something that will say, now with weather, here's John Jacobson, and they may show a picture of the weather anchor. So that would be a bumper or a restart. Did the newscast you watched have it? How many times did weather appear? Sometimes weather may only show up once or twice. If there is a severe weather event going on, thunderstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, and weather may appear more times than just that. Newscast I watched had weather show up about 4 times. At the beginning, twice in the middle, and then at the end of the show. Also, did the anchors toss between the weather and sports segments, or were they introduced by pre-recorded opens, like those feed bumpers and restarts I talked about? Or was there a moment where the sports anchor and the news anchors talked for a moment? Was the weather anchor on the desk with the 2 news anchors when they finished their weather segment, and did they talk for a moment? So let me know if they did something like that. And so how do you watch a newscast? There are a lot of different ways that you can watch a televised newscast. First option is cable or over the air. All cable providers should have access to local stations. You can even take a digital antenna, plug it into the back of your television, and receive an over-the-air signal for free. I've known some people to set up a video recorder or DVR to record the news, and then you can play it back at your convenience. Another thing you might be able to do is to stream it on the internet. News stations will sometimes stream their news live from their webpage or from their mobile app that you can watch on your phone. So there's a variety of ways that you can do that. Now, when they tend to stream things on their website, they don't give you an option to pause or rewind. It's going to happen in real time, so that may make it a little bit harder for taking notes. So one of the things that I recommend, and again, you do not have to use this if you do not want to. I just find it to be a valuable tool for watching newscasts and assignments such as this. And that is the website called News On. And they have partnered with multimedia, many media companies to cover about at least 3/4 of the United States to get access to streams from their channels all over the place. So you can go through and quickly pick a map, and you can pick a station at random. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Or if you decide, you know what, I want to see a station in Portland, I want to see a station in Chicago, I want to see a station in New York, you have that option too. And one of the nice advantages about using this News On tool is you have the ability to pause and fast forward and rewind and to scroll through newscasts. And they provide you with a variety of ways to watch it. You can download their app for your tablet or phone from Google Play, from Roku, from Apple Store. It's available on Amazon tablets. You can also go to their website, the newson.us, and I should have a link for that available in the assignment. And again, this is not a mandatory tool, but it's something that I find very useful, and I think it would benefit you. And so when you're looking for stories, if you do see a lot that have graphics that say "we'll be right back," chances are they're not going to have a good feed for you. It's just going to be 30 minutes of, in this case, the 9 p.m. news. So as you're looking at stories and you're looking at stations, make sure they have thumbcasts that you can play. And they do also have the ability that you can watch this on their website, the News On website, without needing to download an app. You can just go straight to their site and watch it there. And so what I wound up doing was I watched a program from using News On, and I went and just opened Notepad, and I started just writing down all the contents, the stories, if it was a package of OSOT, about how long it was. As far as timing, I went to a search engine, I typed in stopwatch, and they had a digital stopwatch. There's also stopwatches on your phone. There's going to be some on your watch. You have quite a variety to help you time out shows and see how long the segments are going to be. Now, the deadline for this is going to be listed on Canvas. I'm going to give you guys a little bit more than just a half week to do this. I'm going to give you at least until the end of the week. I'm going to have the deadline on Canvas, but the deadline is going to be 11:59 p.m. Central Time on the day I have listed. Anything after that will not be accepted and a 0 be put in. But anything before then, you can upload as many times as you want. If you make a mistake, if you want to do something over again, you can keep uploading as many times as you wish, and I'm going to grade whatever you have submitted by the deadline. So that is going to be the newscast analysis assignment.